Second. Okay. So the the very first pledge I request you to take, each one of you, is be happy from this very moment onwards and start counting them. Perhaps take a notebook or maybe take an app in a mobile. Every time you are happy, please start making a point or please start making notes of this beautiful happiest moments in your life. And as I told you, this is not an online course. This is the workshop. This workshop is designed to bring transformation step by step in you. Transformation, I mean, you start living a different life from the very beginning moment. Okay. And I request you to adhere to that process. Okay. And this is going to be go 5 days. I'm going to give a lot of information, insights, and work and tasks to complete. And I also I'm going to give you a transformation. Okay. And one there are every day there is a one transformation we are going to work upon. Every day we are going to work upon one transformation. Trust me, you are going to love it. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. Okay. So this is about it. And with respect to some ground rules, which we need to take in account. Many of you are part of WhatsApp groups. If at all you are not, please try to consider to join. And if you don't have any link, please reach out to us in the WhatsApp so we can help you with the link. The WhatsApp groups are primarily aimed to give you timely information, thereby you won't miss it. But preferably, I want the party to happen in Facebook group. So each and every one of you are expected to be a part of Emotional Masters Facebook group. And this Facebook group link has been shared with you as a welcome email as soon as you have registered for this course or this workshop, right? So I want you to be part of that group. If you have not been part of that group, please, today evening again, we are going to share that link in the WhatsApp group or through email. So please feel free to join in that group. Okay. And every day, whenever I'm going to ask you to share something about the workshop or what you have done or any support you need, Facebook group is the place where we are going to interact and you're going to get all the support that are required or that are needed by you. Okay. And we keep WhatsApp as the mechanism to reminders or to accept the reminders and sharing information, basic stuff. But I want you to be part of WhatsApp, Facebook group. And secondly, please do not send any personal messages to the people who are part of this WhatsApp group and respect their privacy. Okay. Uh, what more? What more? What more? Okay. So today we are going to complete the session and you are going to get the recording and you might get some answers. You might get some questions. You want to have some clarifications. So there are many people join, guys. There are hundreds of people are part of this group now, in this specific workshop now, and it is practically impossible for you to reach out to me with your question. So I am going to share at the end of this workshop. I'm going to share an email that will be consisting of a form, okay, Google form. There is a primary purpose of that Google form is to fill your questions, and I'm going to go through those questions in the night. And tomorrow morning, at some given point in time, I'm going to come live in the on the Facebook, and I'm going to answer every question. Okay, and I'm going to answer every question. So if at all you're free to join at the time, you're occupied, it's fine. But I'm going to answer every question in the Facebook group, in the Facebook live. Therefore, it is very important for you to be part of that group and also submit all your questions to that form. Therefore, you're going to get all answers, right? So having said that, let's get started with the today's session. Let me sip some water, and the meanwhile, you also take some water. As I requested you, please stop messaging in the chat box and please start raising your hands. Okay. The next part session. So please pay full attention to what I'm saying. Okay. So please do not raise hands. Please do not post any questions. Please do not write anything in the chat. Having said that, I'm going to get started with the session. Yes, here it is. Okay, welcome back to Emotional Mastery Introduction. So, my name is Pawan Panchangam. Anyhow, I'm going to share about me. What you're going to learn here, let me just move it here. Right, perfect. Right. You're going to learn some awesome stuff about mastering your own emotions over the course in next couple of videos, and you're going to love it. Okay. Simply as you sit in front of your computer and watch these videos and follow the instructions, you will be knowing precisely how to break free from negative emotions, behaviors, obsessions, addictions permanently in any specific context. Here I'm mentioning very clearly in any specific context. You'll understand why I'm saying by end of this lesson today, right? And you will become master of your own emotions, your behaviors and activities by hacking your own brain's emotional code and thereby knowing precisely how to break free from negative emotions, obsessions, addictions permanently in any specific context. All this will happen, trust me, without using pills, meditation, affirmation, counseling, motivational talks, etc. kind of traditional approaches that require daily practices and long-term applications, right? And I'm not saying is out of statement. There are many people who has got the results, like for example Partha has broken free from phobia in less than 60 minutes. Okay, I'm going to share all these testimonials, perhaps in different form. Maybe you can find in the below the video, or maybe I'm going to share a specific website link where you can find these testimonials to go through in your free time. Now I'm going to just simply move on, right? Let us mute Sridevi for some time. Okay. Vikram has broken free from chronic depressive thoughts and anxiety. Okay. One session, a specific thought that is bothering him for almost 3 years. He was on medication. In a day, he uses maybe 7 hours of his life about this specific thought, okay, that causes anxiousness, and he has broken free from it in 5 minutes. And he named this process, which I have used at that time, called noodle technique, because he would able to come out of that anxiousness from that specific thought in less than cooking noodles. And this process you are going to experience in this workshop. Are you excited? Yeah, I know. So other examples like Lawrence Gomez, he is suffering from anxiety. He was under medication. He come out of it, and he was actually taking more personal help from my coaches to understand many processes, and step by step he's coming out. And Dr. Harish Chandra and Santan has come out of phobias. And Dr. Hiten Safi, he's a homeopath. He's a homeopathy doctor, and initially he has taken up my help for his son purpose, but ended up using for himself, and also started using for his patients. At Murali Krish has come out of almost 14, 15 years of addiction, old addiction. Was he started everything, but he could not come out. It took just 45 minutes to come out of that, right? And Ravichandra happens to be a Supreme Court lawyer based out of Mumbai. He come out of 14 years old smoking habit. And Radha is a housewife, and she has come out of binge eating in less than 45 minutes, one for all. And these are all testimonials. You can find it in the testimonials page, which I'll anyway share it with you. Dr. Sameer has broken free from 14 years old tobacco chewing habit. And many people, many examples. Some people are very shy to come and share. All this happened without using pills, meditation, affirmation, counseling, motivational talks, etc. kind of traditional approach, right? And they did not practice. One time they did one process, which I have shared with them is a video recording, and they come out of it. Okay, who is this for? Whatever you are currently in, who is this for? This is for the people who constantly engage themselves into negative thinking or OCD of intrusive thoughts, right? Let me move here. And people who extremely face anxiety, stress, people get panic attacks, palpitations, they're not able to sleep properly, people are in depressive thoughts, people have issues with respect to relationships, or relationship related issues. People feel stuck in their careers and businesses. People always harp on their past and bad memories. People struggle from fears and phobias, OCDs, addictions, procrastination, laziness, etc., etc. Okay, there are list of negative emotions like anger, sadness, guilt, irritation, resentment. Okay, it's go on. Okay, it simply goes on. And you also can start, achieving that kind of transformation, right? And there is an opportunity that is in front of you, using which you can become the best version of yourself, right? You can come out of relationship issues, you can accelerate your career and business, you can come out of past and bad memories, and no more fears and phobias and all OCDs, addictions and procrastinations, lazinesses and everything, right? Why is this different? Okay, this is different because whatever the transformation you are going to get, that is going to stick with you. So it is not, as you know, any monkey can watch maybe a motivational talk on YouTube or some other place and temporarily feel happy, right? But what we are here is for the transformation that is 100% and also that sticks with you almost permanently, right? That is why we are different. And we are going to achieve that kind of transformation. You're going to sample this in next 5 days without using pills, meditation, affirmation, counseling, motivational talks, etc. kind of traditional approaches, right? Perhaps you might have this question, Pawan, how can you say this? Let me tell you quickly about myself. I have been very, very successful throughout my career, but there was a time I was completely emotionally broke. I used to be very negative, sad, depressed, and become very lazy and procrastinating many things. And I was completely exploited at workplace, and I felt like a puppet in their hands. That led me thinking about actually ending my life, right? I'm not telling you exactly how I was feeling now because I want to keep this in a very positive situation, but that was very horrible. But I could not even that take that step because I have a small kid and my pregnant wife and my parents to look after. Then I started exploring many things. Okay, I attended many yoga retreats, visited spiritual gurus, did meditation courses. I have even went to martial arts and used to listen all kinds of affirmations throughout the night. And I used to practice at least 30 minutes a day, all these various approaches. And they were useful, they were useful, and I used to feel good, and I used to gain some kind of confidence. But the effect is, it was temporary, right? uh, Even though I pick up all the positivity, but the moment I end up entering into the same context again, at the same situation, the same place again, all the positivity that has been built using all these approaches is to get burst like a balloon, right? What I want is, I want to have a positivity that stays with me forever. It is not a temporary solution, I want a permanent solution, right? And one day I decided to find a permanent solution for my problems, and that's when I have started learning NLP. I have studied from the best people across the globe. I went to the level where I started doing intense research in the fields, and I also got an opportunity to directly learn from the founder of NLP, co-creator of NLP, right? It is Dr. John Grinder. So his Dr. John Grinder, very next to him with specs now I'm not having, is actually standing me, right? And I have continued to study. I have continued my studies in the fields of neuromarketing and neuroconsumer science, and finally I discovered the path for me to stay permanently. And that path I'm going to share it with you also. So with this extensive investments, learnings, and its own applications, of course, I have a lot of successes and I have a lot of failures. I have went to so many people. They took money, but they did not give me the transformation I want. It's part and parcel. But the good news is I never stopped. I always moved forward because I know I know even if I invest on me $100, I'm going to get it back maybe 10, 20 times, right? I never stopped it because of few failures, and I continue in this journey, right? And I have helped thousands of people. The number is still going in their emotional well-being since last 1.5 year. And I have produced results in situations where people find it was impossible to get it, right? And my goal is to empower 10,000 plus people in their emotional well-being in next few months. Okay, and I want your help in doing that. And that is my goal for next few months. And what is my goal for this specific workshop? My goal from this specific workshop is to give you insights, awareness, and harmonious inner connection. I'm going to talk in detail about this on perhaps on day 3 or 4. Okay, and at least one transformation that will serve you as an example or a sample that will give you a taste of what is possible, such that you understand how you can get benefited from the work we are going to do together in their emotional well-being. So my goal is to give you at least one transformation in the next 4 or 5 days, right? And before I go ahead, I would like to take your permission, right? I request you to take your permission to explain certain things or certain methods that might contradict with what you have learned so far, which were not working, right? Okay, so I need your permission. So please mention your permission as a S in the chat box in the comment section, that I can share methods, or maybe I can make certain kind of statements that might even contradict with what you have learned so far. Okay, because that is very important, because I'm going to propose many things which might contradict with what you have been learning and thinking in the past about the traditional ways. Okay, with this extensive investments, learning and applications, I can safely say that negative emotions are not like diseases. Negative emotions are not like diseases. Many people approach me. They say, "Can you cure my anxiety? Can you cure my insomnia? Can you cure my depression?" And my first answer to them is that, first of all, they are not diseases. So they are not diseases, therefore you don't have to approach them as a cure, right? I want you to understand this in very, very, very detail. So this fact has just glued to me when I started learning about all these concepts, right? Until then, this is something we need to manage every day. But then I have realized this insight: negative emotions are not diseases, right? That is the same case with OCDs and addictions. They are just behaviors, right? Hence, sorry, hence they do not require long-term management strategies and approaches. They don't require long-term strategies and approaches, and you can get a quick and instant response and a result, right? And that you can immediately test, right? That's what we are going to go ahead, and you can break free from them permanently without using traditional techniques and strategies. You may be wondering, if negative emotions are not like diseases, then what are they? Okay, they are simply outcomes of specific brain programs, right? To explain this complex subject in a very, very simpler sense, I'm going to take the use of analogy that everybody more or less accepts, right? We think, or we accept the analogy like human mind is like a brain, a human brain is like a computer. In a computer, we have three steps, right? One, there is a trigger or there is an input, and that kickstarts a brain program and that produces an output. If you wanted to give, if you want to take a print from the computer, you go in the keyboard, give Control P as an input. That start a program in the CPU, and that produces a document over the printer, right? Suppose if there is no paper on the printer, if there is no intention of you actually producing a print from this printer, but even though you end up accidentally pressing Control P, then automatically the printer will start saying "Kach, kach, 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 kach," even though there is no paper, but it is going to do its job. So exactly that's what happens with negative emotions too. And many of the traditional approaches, they work at the outcome level and completely ignoring the middle game, that is about mind. So what we are going to focus is, we are going to focus on the middle game and the trigger game, nothing else. We are not going to focus on what happens when anxiety comes, or what happens when phobia comes, what happens when panic attack comes. We're not going to focus, because every one of us knows prevention is better than cure, isn't it? So why do you want to cure something when you can prevent? So what we are going to focus is to prevention, not cure. And there is a deeper sense, why do you want to prevent, or why do you want to take this approach than actually curing that, actually taking the approach of curing that. I'm going to explain that in detail in coming 2 3 days. Right, so far so good. So similarly, what happens with us in human being, the information that passes through all our five senses, what we see, what we hear, what we touch, smell and taste, whatever, that information kickstart a specific brain program, and that brain program is going to produce happiness and curiosity, focus, confidence, calm, or whatever the positive emotion, right? And if the information that kickstarts a negative emotion, kickstarts a negative brain program, then it produces all the negative emotions like anxieties, fears, irritations, frustrations, angers, addictions, OCDs, etc., etc. It's a very, very fundamental point I want you to understand and take inside, right? The same case with many people who thinks themselves as the depressed people, or they have OCDs, and they have addictions, whatever it is. The fundamental process remains same, right? We are going to discuss in detail about this tomorrow, right? As I told you, we are going to go in depth about it. So this, what we are discussing is, it is not something has come from the sky yesterday. So we as a human being, programming is quite natural, genetic and neurological, and it is a heuristic process that is actually governing and helping us. The primary focus, or the primary responsibility of this programming is, one is saving time, second is it works as a perfect defensive mechanism to protect yourself from the world. I'm going to talk about it in detail uh, in the coming lessons anyway. So programming is the only way that will help you to come out of any kind of things, or also to achieve anything you want. The best way, the only way that suits to today's world is mind programming. Let's keep that in mind. And what exactly is programming? How do we do? And everything that is going to come from very much tomorrow. So before proceeding further, let us have a quick recap on what are the most common negative emotions. The most common negative emotions are anxiety, depression, sadness, anger, fears, negative thinking, bad memories, resentment, guilt, tension, nervousness, despair, low self-confidence, self-doubt, stress, procrastination, irritation, frustration, laziness, lack of motivation, so on. If you carefully observe them, either they are body feelings or a sensation. For example, if you when some person feels tension, okay, it is just a body feeling. I'm getting tension, and or a behavior like procrastination. Okay, let us do tomorrow, or laziness, or they end up doing, maybe cleaning their hands over and over again and again. Or some people keep asking the same question again and again, keep saying same things again and again. So either it is a behavior or a body sensation, nothing else. There are many things like addictions, OCDs, and bodies and behaviors, and body feelings and behaviors. So, for the convenience sake, we are going to call all of them as negative emotions and negative behaviors. Okay, what I want you to understand, you remember in the beginning of the conversation, I told we are going to go and break free from negative emotions or behaviors, addiction in a specific context. Why? Because every negative emotion, every negative behavior has some useful purpose, right? It is going to be useful for and it is going to help, and it is going to be helpful for you. For example, fear of failure is useful. How? Because it will help someone to plan in advance. Similarly, they can execute and they can achieve certain things. And another example is feeling anxious to do a specific activity that is not very safe for you is quite useful. And many examples we have in our life where we feel anxious at a certain point in time, and therefore we did not proceed to do that, and we came back and then we realized that was the right decision. Okay. And I have come across many rich people who have grown from rags to riches, right? And their emotional code is very simple. They hate poverty, they fear of being poor, and they procrastinate or hesitate from adopting bad habits. And they are addicted to success, okay? And they are obsessively, compulsively works towards their goals, right? Sometimes negative emotions, addictions, OCDs are even quite useful. So we need to have a wisdom of choosing when, what, which is right, right? And how do you use it in your advancement or in your advantage? And if you use all these things in the right way, you will become unstoppable and successful, right? Unfortunate part is like a stopped clock that shows the correct time only twice in a day. Negative emotions are also useful only in few contexts. So, sorry. So, if you know how to use and when to use a negative emotion behavior addiction, this is what we discussed, right? This got double time. We went back. So if you want really to become a successful with any of your efforts, then I request you to please use all your emotions, addictions, behaviors in the right manner. How do you want to use it? When you become a master of your own emotions and behavior, and when you develop a wisdom, then you can become master of your emotions. And I'm going to teach everything to you in next 3 to 4 days. Unfortunate part is many people or most people remain as slaves of their own emotions, addictions, and behaviors. So if you get a chance to become master, then simply jump and take and grab it, that opportunity to become master of your emotions. Will you? Right? You will take, right? So if you choose not to master negative emotions or negative behaviors, and if you choose to remain as a slave of your own negative emotions, I want you to realize the negative consequences from your own negative emotions and also behaviors. Why? Because negative emotions are like termites. Termites eat away beautiful looking wooden furniture from inside. I wanted to focus a little bit about the dangers from your negative emotions. The purpose is to not to scare you, but just to educate you. Okay. Some of these things you might have already heard. Some of these things might be new for you, right? Let me ask this question. How often do you experience negative emotions in a day? Every human being experience anywhere from 5 to 100 negative emotions in a day. Okay. So let us further proceed to understand what are the 5 dangers from your negative emotions, right? The first danger is with respect to health. Negative emotions actually can cause laundry list of health issues. Actually, if you notice, your negative emotions affect your health directly and also indirectly. Human body is like a chemical factory. Every emotion we experience releases certain kind of chemicals into our system, right? And we are not designed to experience stress, anxiety, and fear very frequently. Let me give you a quick example. There are many doctors as part of this group. They understand what I'm saying, right? People who went for organ transplant operations, they'll be under two kinds of medications. Medication one is on the antibiotics and other supplements. Medication two is they will give that specific patient a stress injection, a stress hormone stimulation. Why do they do that? When they inject stress hormone in the patient's body, the immune system, the natural immune system actually shuts. So therefore, the body will not reject the foreign organ or foreign body from this body. So stress, the constant exposure to stress in the form of fear, stress in the form of anxiety is significantly is going to reduce the power of immune system and make us prone to the deadly diseases. And in addition to that, these negative emotion causes acidities, seizures, insomnias, IBS, stammering. Remember, when people experience acidity, people, when they don't have proper sleep or when they take a lot of tension, they find they expose themselves to anxiety, nervousness, they have uh, acidity. People who has seizures, anybody who goes under the seizures, that the people they experience a lot of stress and fear or anxiety before that. And people who has this sleeping problems, they'll be constantly thinking negative thinking, and they cannot sleep. Same case with IBS and same case with stammering. People you might know, right? People who has a stammering, they go onto the stage. If they put them into the drama and if you send the person to the stage, and he will not have any stammering and he's going to, happily is going to recite the, all the relax. But in the normal conversation, he's going to get the stammering when there is a nervousness or any kind of pressure situation comes into the picture. So these are all these miseries are because of negative emotions, and poorly managed negative emotions are not at all good for the health, right? Negative attitudes and feelings can create chronic stress, which upsets the body's hormone balance, depletes the brain chemicals that are required for happiness, right? And the dangers, it weakens the immune system. As a consequence, the risking of suffering from large issues like heart disease, digestive disorders, acidity, unhealthy skin, dandruff, psychosomatic disorders, and cancer significantly increases. Furthermore, your health directly depends upon your emotional state. Realize it's your fear or anxiety about your illness that leads to devastation. But we also, hear so many stories, right? People who have successfully recovered from deadly diseases comfortably. We as a family, we all got COVID, okay, and and I did not take even one day half or off from whatever I'm doing because of COVID, because of the state balance what we achieve, right? The processes which you are going to learn. And at the same time, even with the easily manageable issues, people have got into disaster. So this is very prominent, which we are seeing these everyday examples in our life in the current or in the COVID situation, right? People are very good, happy the moment they venture into the a place, a kind of hospital, more or less we are hearing bad news. Okay, keep that aside. Okay, shake up, and we're very, very positive people right now. So here the culprit is the emotional state. We also have seen many examples from kids or even from our own childhood. Like kids will say that we have a cold, I have a fever, I don't want to go to school. And once they're not going to school the whole day, they're going to enjoy, they're going to play with their friends, and they're going to do a lot of activities. Suddenly, there is no cold, there is no fever, there is no cough, there is no stomach pain. And mummies and say, see, you lied it. No, that is not the case, because their emotional state is significantly shifted. Their health is also significantly shifted. People have many examples of this, where one person in the right state of mind, he almost never gets into this kind of health issues. And if at all you are in the right emotional state, you can recover from any kind of illness very, very easily. And please trust me on this. So my question to you is that if you want to ensure your health with the right kind of emotional state, then please stay with me till the end. Will you stay with me till the end? That's a commitment I want from you, right? I want you to give it to me, right? Will you stay with me till the end, right? So I wanted to give you one more insight about an interesting study that has been done by Dr. Steve Bierman, MD. He is a doctor, a medical doctor from United States. He was into a large hospital in the emergency department, right? ED. So he used to get many, many patients that requires emergency attention, and they see these patients and then divert them to the right specialist. So he has treated himself many patients. So one day, once he also started engaging in this line of thoughts, like what we are doing now. So he got curious. So what he got curious is one patient comes with some problem, right? Maybe heart attack or something else. Then he started asking a question. See, my friend patient, I know you have got this specific problem. This problem could have come a week back or maybe a week later. I know you might not have the answer to this question, but still, if you wanted to guess, what could be the reason that that actually triggered this heart attack today or any issue? And initially the patient say, no, I really don't know. Then doctor says, okay, I know you might not know, but if at all you have to guess what could be the reason. So then the people have always come back to the basics, basic incidents that has actually triggered all these issues, right? For example, 16 years, 67 years old, male person has got heart attack. The reason why he has got attack is the mother-in-law is actually came to his house, to stay in next 5 months, right? There is a 39 years old female got autoimmune disease. The purpose is she has a guilt that happened because of some family suicide. And there is one more lady got 47 years lady got breast cancer. The reason is she has been suffering from a guilt that happened because of extramarital affairs. And another lady got breast cancer because of the guilt that had because of the abortion. And numerous other patients like financial problems, business problems, romantic difficulties. They're moving in different parts of the country, they don't want to do. Even I would like to share one of my own experience. Can I share? Is it okay if I can share my own experiences? Right. I would like to share this experience is very important because many people reach out to me with many health issues, and I precisely know why they have got that issue because I have my own experience. Ever since I started my career when I was 22 years old, 23 years old, I used to have a heavy back pain, a huge back pain. I have never fallen down from bike. I never had an accident, but I used to get a lot of back pain, right? And I used to sleep on the floor for 2, 3 days to come out of that. 24 years old guy was sleeping. Can you imagine like that? So then my life moved, my career moved, and once in a while I used to get it, but I don't know what exactly. I went to some doctors, they give painkillers, and I took, and all these things happened. Okay, the second incident happened is I think a couple of years back. I had a significant urinary infection. I got a significant urinary infection. I visited one of the best corporate hospital in Bangalore. Yeah, right. And the doctor, after the discussion, doctor says, "You just wait for 2 days, then it will go off." Right. Then one more incident happened. Whenever I hear a word called cancer, if someone says cancer, I used to get panic attacks. I used to get full of anxiousness. I used to get fear. If 20, 30 times one person stand next to me and says cancer, 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 I am done. I am fully out and I am on the floor with completely sweating and palpitations. Right. So once I exploring these technologies, once I am exploring these things, I have come to an understanding that these are all a kind of communication that is coming to us from within, right? There is a communication that is happening from us to us. I understand at times it might be a little bit confusing. I'll answer this confusion before fifth day. So please stay with me till the end. It is very important. So many a times these are all a kind of signals that our body is throwing to us to direct our attention to some specific area of our life which we are not paying attention to. So if I recall, if I review my whole life, whenever I had a back pain, I had a terrible back pain whenever I have to shift my career, whenever I have to change my company. I have a terrible back pain. Okay. And then why I am listening cancer and actually feeling things, my inner voice or my internal dialogue or my whatever the giant within, whatever the name you're comfortable, that our intuition, our inner voice, whatever it is letting me know, is directing me to start my own business. Is saying that corporate world is not good for you, start your own business. That is the message. Why? How come I know that? Because of the specific processes I know, and you're going to learn it anyway in the due course, and then you will also know for yourself. So why I'm emphasizing in this fact is that many people ignore these kind of mechanisms that is already there within us, and end up looking for the kind of solution that might actually that might actually put in the more, challenging situation, right? So we'll talk about it in the coming lessons in detail. So the fact of the matter is, either you go scientifically or you go more personally. Either way, many of the things which we are going to experience in our life, calling them as the negative emotions, could be are because of many issues in the life, could be caused by the negative emotions. That's what I want you to understand. It's very important factor. I'm going to invest a little bit more time on this concept, right? Come back, right? If you want to ensure your health with the right kind of emotional state, then I request you to stay with me till the end. Okay, will you? Right. So the second danger is with respect to career and business. Negative emotions significantly lowers your productivity. If you take any employee, or even if you start your own business, you're always high jumping and you're curious, you are enthusiastic, you want to do many things in your life, but over a period of time, you slowly wears down, right? And you get into workplace conflicts, interpersonal relationship issues, and bad decisions that you take in businesses and the careers, right? And by virtue, these negative emotions become the source of work-life stress, right? As a consequence, there is no slow growth in business, to no growth in career, to slow growth, loss of opportunities, jobs, and money, right? Your fear or anger actually lowers the chances of getting a decent remuneration that actually you deserve. So many people I see, they're highly qualified, but their ability to control their emotions is actually putting a direct impact on how much money they're going to earn, how far they're going to grow in their career and business. And all these negative emotions are weakens your influence. Okay. And in case of business, it is very directly. If there's no business or low business and compromised profits and bad decisions, please understand, emotion is the currency, right, that fuels your business growth and career growth, right? So positive emotion is like a positive currency, and negative emotion is like a negative currency. So what I want you to do, that I want you in your career and business, diffuse the negative currency and infuse your business and life, career with the positive currency, right? Can you take up that pledge that I want to diffuse the negative currency in my career and business? I will infuse the positive currency in my career and business. Can you take that pledge for yourself, please? Right. So that's what we just covered. And also, please realize what you have been losing due to your own negative emotions in your career and business. The more happy you are, the more positive you are, the more growth and prosperity you're going to get. The third is relationships. Whenever you begin any kind of relationship, right, it could be between you and me, or between you and your spouse, or between boyfriend and girlfriend, you and your boss, between two friends, or between employee and boss, whatever the relationship it is. when it started when it started, it always starts with a positive note and feeling, right? We always have the positive feeling and that kind of emotion within us. But over a period of time, that will get stained, and that leads to breakups, divorces, conflicts, resignations, fights, etc., etc. And but the bad memories that are actually born us by doing all these things, right? This further impacts our loved ones' relation, growth, and well-being, and other family members. I know many people, fathers and mothers, out of their office works or office stress or maybe some other negative issues, they're going to lose out their temper on their kids, maybe 4 years, maybe 5 years, maybe 6 years. So how bad it is. Okay, as a father, when I was doing this, I found this I was very guilty of expressing my anger on the 3 years old, 4 years old kid, because I was not able to control my negative emotion, right? So I feel really bad, and I'm sure as a parent you understand that, right? So my question to you is that, what could be the reason how a positive feeling actually turned into a negative or complete opposite? How that leads into conflicts, fights, and all other disappointments? By knowing how this actually happens, not only helps you to recover from the damage and also to prevent from strained relationship and associated activities. Agree? So the next question is, do you want to really transform back to the positive feelings in relationship as good as new? Do you want to actually transform all the negativities into positivities in your relationship with anyone, right? If you wanted to do that, then please stay with me till the end because we are going to precisely know how you can do it, right? This is all going to impact on your overall well-being. Along with whatever we have discussed so far, your negative emotions will impact your overall well-being. They become the root cause of the most of the habits, like overeating, which leads to obesity and other related complications. Or that may also leads to habits like smoking and alcohol consumption, and that can also lead you into deadly diseases, right? And finally breaks you mentally and financially. On the day 5 we are going to spend a lot of more time on the overall well-being, etc. So please definitely be there on day 5, right? Then it also weakens your personal magnetism, weaker performance weaker performance in all aspects. You understand what I'm saying? Loss of respect, missing on great opportunities. Perhaps not only what I have mentioned here, but also there are many things which you have been suffering from your own negative emotions, right? You might be losing due to your own negative emotions. Let me ask this question. Have you ever assessed the risk from your own negative emotions? Have you ever assessed the risk that is posing from your own negative emotions? Have you ever reflected upon the loss from your own negative emotions? Have you ever imagined how your life will be different if you break free from negative emotions and fill your life with positive emotions? And perhaps that can be today, right? I'll be emailing you a personal emotional risk assessment sheet. Okay, you'll be receiving in maybe in 1 hour or so, and download it and use it to reflect it upon. It is your worksheet and no one knows about it. No one knows about it and it is your worksheet. So please reflect upon the risks that are posing from your negative emotions. I want you to be ensured that irrespective of the level of risks your negative emotions are posing you, you will break free from negative emotions from them by simply sitting in front of your computer, right? If you wanted to break free from all your negative emotions permanently in any specific context, which we have discussed, please stay with me till the end. Please complete the journey which you have started, right? In the next lesson, we are going to go further deep into how is the brain program is constructed, how it is triggered, because all negative emotions are outcomes. That's what we already agreed and discussed, right? And how to hack our emotional brain code, and what are the strategies that will help us to break free from negative emotions permanently, and why traditional techniques and strategies would not bring lasting transformation, and how to lower or even get rid of risks from your own negative emotions. Okay, all these things we're going to cover in the upcoming lessons. Remember, if you stay with me till the end, then by simply sitting in front of your computer watching these videos, you can become master of your own emotions. How many of you want to really become master of your own emotions? I believe you want to become master of your own emotions, right? So I request you to please complete today's exercise, which is called your emotional risk assessment. That sheet has been shared with you in email. So please pardon me for the sound. Okay, and more importantly, I request you to please share some positive comments below this content, maybe in the WhatsApp group, maybe in the Facebook group, and wherever it is possible with you. And also, please share this content with the friends and family. Let the people come and understand all these things on their own, and help me to achieve 10,000 plus people goal to help them in their emotional well-being, right? And thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Guys, you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I am okay to answer them for next 10-15 minutes. People are raising hands. I'm not able to open up. Okay, Amrita, still you have COVID? If at all, yes, then maybe on day 2 or day 3, I'm going to do specific activity. Yeah, you are going to see this for next 24 hours. Yes. How do you find today's sessions, guys? How do you find today's session? What is that you like most? Yeah, you are going to get complete recording of today's session, right? This workshop is completely depends upon advanced neurological programming. Okay, you might be seeing certain things which you never heard or seen earlier. Messages are going pretty fast. I'm not able to read. Guys, some people are expecting sessions should be 7 to 8:30 p.m. Please do not. It depends upon what kind of questions you ask, and I'm here to answer all of them. Does not mean that I should keep talking in front of you for 1.5 hours. If I do 3 hours, then what? So please don't get into that kind of thinking. Okay. Pampa Prakash on day 3. Wait for that. Your risk assessment sheet will reach in next 1 hour, guys. So along with that, you're also going to get a form to submit your questions. If you submit your questions, then I'm going to answer those questions. Whenever you find submit, and please be part of Facebook group, and please be part of Facebook group and share your thoughts. Nayak, Chitarani Nayak, empathy, how short empathy, sympathy. Sorry, madam, it's too much of big words for me. Nikki, yes, could be. Guys, I will do session on Vivek Gupta. Maybe go to my website. There's a book appointment section is there. You can use that section. So Amrita, it is a good beginning. I won't think you will be coming out of OCD. It requires a little bit longer, which you will understand how. Okay. My goal is to give you at least one transformation in next 5 days and 5 hours. I'll give you at least one transformation and I'll give you a lot of insights, right? I don't know, Nilesh, what you want, but I'll know what I'm going to give and I'm going to give. I can help you guys. Okay, please have whatever it is required. I'll do my best for next 5 days to give you all the necessary information. Then, if you like to continue this journey, please continue with me. Yes, Seema Fernandez. Yes, it is 100% possible. Ranbir Singh, that is an outcome. So we need to work at the mind level. Raghavendra, madam, it is a good beginning, this session. Dr. Jayaraman Vasudevan, yes. Facebook group link has been shared in the previous mails. We will also send one more message through WhatsApp or something else. Madan, OCD is not a disease. It can be taken out. Guys, whoever wants to leave, please leave. Session is done. I'm just only here to answer any questions if you guys have. The emotional risk assessment sheet will be shared to you through email. Nikki, possible. Within, yes, that could be the reason. Thank you. Ranbir, that's what the whole session is all about. Yes, Dr. Jayaraman, as I told you. Binda Agarwal, I don't know, could be a problem with you also, right? Neelu, Rajendran, yes, 100%. Continue this journey. Ananda, mind programming. Amrish, at least one context, yes. Shishir Kumar, yes, there is going to be an upsell at the end. If you wanted to, if you see the sample and if you like it, continue. Otherwise, you can drop it, not a problem. In 5 days, I cannot cover entire my life or entire my whatever I have learned in 5, 6 years. In 5 days is not possible in 5 hours. Bhupati, possible. Because Madhuri, because of her emotional instability. Pooja, yes, we can. Parul, it is beginning today. Kriti, we need to understand what exactly it is. We can definitely help you, but not may not be in these 5 days. Can this workshop be? Nitin, yes, today session is complete. Abdul, you need to explain me in detail. Yes, you can come out of this anxiety, Nataraja. One transformation is given Dr. Jayaraman, 100%. Rupa, yes. Shaji Mohan, yes. Sujata, this is a good beginning. I will explain you in 5 days. Sanjay Panchal will talk about it. Okay, more or less the questions I'm going to anyway cover. So thank you very much for being here today, and we'll catch up. We'll catch up tomorrow same time. Thanks.